Well, hello, friends of Private Universe. Today we have a very special show. It's the third installment of Heaven on Earth. I drove around with Jack in heaven and we discussed many things. This episode is dedicated to a good friend of mine who has gone on his eternal journey, Jack's father. This show is dedicated to you, Ruben. Yeah, well, there's a certain depth with history, isn't there? When you have history with someone, there's and we all have met new people in our lives, and sure, you could spend it in a mansion with new friends and stuff, and have a relatively good time. But I think it's good to have that balance as well with.
The balance? Which way is the balance?
The balance. Well, the balance of, the new friends and the old friends.
Yeah.
And family. I mean, I suppose this is a time to kind of like refresh. Un porrito.
Plus, can I ask, what's with that? You've got a podcast voice, don't you? You've got a podcast voice that's very different from yours. Isn't it? You've got this very soothing late night, yeah.
Hello, late show with Colours Camacho.
Yeah. God, I can't wait till the day that... Because if people knew the person that you really were...
I know.
Jesus.
If people actually knew what I was like, I mean, I'd probably be like in one of those islands where they put the lepers.
Yeah. Crazy, yeah.
But what are we like? I mean, is there... fuck, it's too philosophical.
This is the island that we're living in. We created our own island of lepers that the only people that accept the lepers are other lepers. It was like that Papillon. You know, he came in.
Yeah.
We're social pariahs. Our minds have leprosy, and many people are very afraid of that. Don't get too near this stuff. But when you find people that are like-minded lepers, well, that's all. Well, no one else will accept us. So, and I think that's with us. In fact, straight away, we just realised, fuck, we've got a very different way of seeing shit.
Well, yeah, we do, and a lot of people do as well. A lot of other people, but I think in the end, we're all searching, for what. I think there is a certain wisdom in ignorance is bliss, where you just kind of like go along with things, live your life. But in the end, we're all going to die, so you have to be happy with what you've done. Because once you get to a certain point and you know there's no more, you have to be happy that you've done what you've had to do, or at least tried it. And so that's where I'm at, really.
Yeah.
When I'm at the perfect, personally, I'm at the perfect stage of my life.
Yeah.
Pretty much got everything. I can't.
You got everything, but also you've tried the things that you've set out to do. That's really important. Like the same with me. I wanted to do this. Let's try bands. Let's travel. We've reached that point where we're reaching those points where we've actually set out to do things that we've said we wanted to do. That's rich to me.
Yeah.
Whether you fall on your ass and you end up, but we did it. I feel sorry for the person that never tried those things and just went.
Yeah, but a lot of those people have no interest.
Yeah. And that's that ignorance is bliss as well.
Yeah, and so they have no interest because they know what they want to do, and in a way they're quite happy.
Yeah.
And so if happiness is the final result, then they're on a good thing also. But yeah, if you think differently and you want to try different things or leave something when you're here, then you're kind of like grasping at straws. But it doesn't matter as long as I think people try and do what they feel like that's going to make them happy. I think that's a good start. Not everyone's going to think the same. Imagine if everyone thought the same. Then
scary.
Throughout centuries, some people have stood out doing certain things, and a lot of those people have been recognised after, posthumously, like sometimes centuries after.
Yeah.
So it doesn't mean they were right at the time. It just means they decided to do certain things that were quite different to the norm.
But I don't think their motivation was, when I'm gone, you know, the legacy will be. It's actually they just reacted at the time. So it wasn't like, what am I going to leave?
No.
What am I doing now that's actually going to make an impact? And it doesn't have to be, again, the ego comes in and says, it's got to be a global impact. No, well, sometimes it's just an impact where, like, you've just helped someone out for the day, or they've helped you. That's just as strong as anybody that's tried to, you know, preach amongst hundreds of people and change. To me, you know, the day-to-day things, because we live day-to-day. So if you can make an impact, if someone on a day-to-day level and they can impact you, that's happiness, not my legacy. I never really think of legacy. I think that, I think you're more, I need to leave something here that's going to make a difference afterwards. But what about the day-to-day things that you don't have to leave, that they're just there and you can actually give on the day?
Yeah, true. What do you reckon, Heather?
It's interesting. Very interesting. More on the day-to-day. Yeah. Yep. I don't have a big final outcome in mind.
Yeah, me either.
Personally. But I understand people do, but I personally don't. Yeah, I just... Yeah, I try and be kind to those around me, because that's how I would like it. And, you know...
simple stuff, huh?
Yeah. Like, and that can make all the difference to someone. Yeah. Yep.
Plus, when you're dead, you're not going to actually see the legacy you've left for someone anyway, so you may as well just try and appreciate it when it's here.
I can understand that making that legacy is I don't know, some people, you know, I can understand the importance of someone wanting that. Yeah, and having that certainty as well.
And maybe having kids maybe changes your shift as well. I don't have kids, so maybe the idea of, I want to leave something for my kids, you know. I want them, if I'm not around, I want to leave something that they can remember me by and they can use to get them on their way. That's probably the difference, where in not having that, you know, it doesn't really, it's not a priority to me.
Sure.
But I guess really acknowledging you only have the one life, apparently, and to use it as best you can and to, you know, make your mark, because then you're gone. I guess so I can understand that.
Yeah. I had a conversation with a friend of mine. He said, I want to see how, I wish I could see how many people were at my funeral. And I said, why the fuck do you want to do that for? You can't, for starters. And what about just seeing what your friends that you have now? How many? No, he said, you're judged by the people that are going to be really weird. You judge. Yeah, I want. How many people are going to be at my funeral? I said, well, that's irrelevant. What about how many people, you know, I can hang, like, if I see you or you on a New Year's Eve, that's more important because it's tangible. We actually can see the results of the happiness in front of us, and we're alive to actually experience it. And it's not something that, it's a concept that when we leave, because
you're not a part of it, are you?
Wouldn't it be better if you can actually see the results, the fruits of your quest or your search in front of you, you know? That legacy can be right now. It's just as much
you're alive.
Yeah, as you're alive.
Yeah.
But that's just the weed and the bottle of scotch and the Lions of America talking.
Well, closing arguments.
Closing arguments. For the affirmative of life. Are you pro-life or anti-life? I'm just happy right now. I'm talking to Heather. I'm talking to Carlitos. These are people that are a very important part of my life, and I like to let you guys know that I'm happy, and that's, you know, that I'm happy being around you. That's an immediate. It's not even a legacy. It's just I'm happy. I'm grateful. It's great, and hopefully you guys get it, because I just told you, and that's nice. He left a beautiful legacy when he was dead.
You never know, 500 years from now, people might be listening to you say this on some type of podcast.
Do you think in 500 years from now, People will be
Yeah.
too busy trying to
Yeah.
kill off the person that's trying to steal their house for the
On the
limited
moon.
amount of resources that we have.
Yeah.
In 500 years from now, the way that the world's growing exponentially, man, I don't think there'll be that many fish in the ocean, that much, unless there's a big quantum shift or a massive,
Which is unlikely.
highly unlikely. You know, I don't think people will really have time to
No.
philosophize like this. I don't think that the way that things are going is going to be pretty good. And then in another million years, the sun's going to take over and destroy all this. So eventually, whatever legacy you think you've created is going to be gone.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
going to
yeah.
be dust. It's
In
going to
3
be
billion years
Yeah.
when the sun expands and
yeah.
absorbs the earth. But
Yeah.
yeah,
No,
no, it's interesting to discuss it. But I think, yeah, in the end, it's each one. It's a private experience. in our
private
lives.
universe.
We're thrown into the world alone, and then we're going to leave alone. And you have to be happy with what we've done.
Do you think you leave
individually.
alone? Oh, like physically alone? I don't. Yeah.
You mean with death, or?
Yeah. Is that what you mean? Like you start alone and you leave alone? 'Cause
Well, yeah. I mean, when you die, it's just you. If you like you, whatever you is, whether it's your soul and your body or whatever it may be, then it's you going or ceasing to exist, if you like, to put it bluntly. But from there on, I don't know what will happen. Who knows? You know.
who knows? Yeah. But we spend so much time trying to figure out something that we will never know, religion, and it's really a wasted exercise. When you take away that, then you start prioritizing other things. You think, oh, friendships, a great day with your family and your friends.
Without a doubt, that's the most important thing. Today, right now,
Right
is,
now,
is
yeah,
what
yeah.
is important.
Yeah.
And tonight we're going to
The
go to sleep.
afterlife.
Tomorrow we're going to go
Yeah.
early to the beach, and we got our plans for tomorrow pretty
Tomorrow,
much.
yeah.
And that's it.
Duh.
And then who knows? Like, you know, it's our brains aren't big enough to be able to fathom all this other stuff. But I think it is good to have a philosophy of life to be able to make sense, and that's why some people grab religion, because it's there, it's prepackaged, and you kind of like go, "Yep, this is for me," and at least I have something to hold on to.
Hold on
but
to.
it's not for everyone. Some people, because once you have, if you grab some type of religious faith, you need to make a leap with it. In a way, you need to make a leap, and some people
We
find it
need to
hard
make a leap, but you're talking about the mass. We always talk about this. The 90% of the world don't think at that level of depth that
No.
we probably. It's just religion is good, and it works for me. That's. And again, what is religion? I think we were talking about that. Religion was created to pray. When they were creating the concept of religion, the first people, pretty basic fears: the fear of being alone, and the fear of dying. I think those are the two. If you're going to market a product, you know, you got to figure out why you're doing it.
Right.
Those two concepts is what religion was based on. At least I'm not alone. At least I can go and congregate with people that are part of that same group.
Yep.
I'm part of someone.
Sure.
Okay, and they've given you this beautiful concept of death. So they've
And it makes sense.
and it makes sense to them.
And it did make sense for a very long time, until the last 150, 200 years, where science in
caught
a
up.
way became a new religion,
Yeah.
if you like.
Mm-hmm.
And so it started giving people answers that weren't available before. But still, this is only one way of looking at the world. And maybe in 500 years, now that we're talking about 500 years, science may be totally different. And they might find that our methodology today is quite primitive. And
Yeah.
so it's still, like I said at the start, it's still a slice of reality, whatever that may be, And science is made by people, and they have their own reality, so they bring on their own prejudices and so forth. So,
Well, science is made by people as well, but the people that fund that science, science funding in any culture, in any first world country right now, is probably about 5% of of spending.
Mm.
The rest are mainly for themselves, for figuring out ways to control other people or other cultures. So that's where the money's going to. You know, whereas, yeah, I think that we would advance so much more if the powers that be sort of were able to fund science more.
Wherever you are, Ruben, I am sure you are very proud of your son, Jack. We miss you. This is Carlos Camacho bidding farewell for now, of course, from Private Universe. Remember, existence is the miracle.